Morayo and her husband are dark-skinned couples, but all their children are albinos. The night was cold. Morayo sat outside, clutching her newborn baby to her chest. Her wrapper was wet with tears. Her husband, Damilare, had just thrown her out. The baby whimpered softly, unaware of the pain surrounding her. Inside, Damilare paced angrily. "I can't do this anymore," he shouted, slamming the door. How did they get here? Damilare and Morayo were once the couple everyone admired. Dark-skinned, beautiful, and deeply in love. But everything changed the day Morayo gave birth to their first child. At the hospital, the nurses exchanged glances. The baby was light-skinned, with soft golden hair and pinkish eyes. Damilare froze. This can't be my child," he said coldly. Morayo reached out to him, tears filling her eyes. "Damilare, please, you were there. This is your child." But he pulled his hand away and left. When she came home, her husband was distant. He refused to buy her food or even let her mother visit. "Your mother should stay in her house. The children you're having are not mine." Morayo cried every night, praying for peace to return. Months later, she got pregnant again. Damilare said nothing, but his heart was full of anger. When she gave birth the second time, it was another albino. Damilare's rage exploded. "So you still have the courage to bring another man's child into my house?" Morayo was too weak to argue. One day, Damilare's friend, John, came to visit. He listened quietly and then said, "Damilare, before you destroy your home, find out the truth. This may not be your wife's fault." But Damilare waved him off. "There's no albino in my family." Unknown to him, the truth was buried deep within his own bloodline. Many years ago, there lived a woman named Sigbama. She was an albino, fair, radiant, and full of kindness. Despite the disapproval of Mr. Kojo's family, who warned him never to marry an albino, he went ahead and married her out of pure love. People mocked them. "Their children will all be cursed," they said. But when Sigbama gave birth, every child was dark-skinned and beautiful. The people were shocked. One of those children was Narima, who grew up and became Damilare's grandmother. Narima often told her children about her mother, how the world ridiculed her, yet she carried light in her heart. But by the time Damilare was born, no one told him the story. Only an old relative, Auntie Nabi, who lived far away, still remembered it. Years later, when Morayo became pregnant again, she prayed every night, "Please, Lord, let this child be dark-skinned, just once, so my husband will love me again." But when the nurse placed the baby in her arms, her heart sank. Another albino. Tears streamed down her face. She already knew what was coming. When Damilare arrived, he moved close to the baby. The moment he touched the tiny hand, he shouted and ran out of the hospital. He didn't return. It was John, his faithful friend, who came to pay the hospital bills. When Morayo came home, Damilare's anger returned like fire. He shouted until she could no longer stand. Weeks later, they began speaking again, slowly rebuilding what was broken. Then she became pregnant once more. She told herself, "I'm not doing this because I want many children. I'm just trying my luck. Maybe this time I'll make him happy." But when she gave birth, it happened again. Another albino. Morayo cried bitterly. That night, Damilare threw her out of the house. The wind was cold. The moon watched silently. And as Morayo wept with her baby in her arms, fate began to move. As Morayo sat in the cold, an old woman approached slowly with a lantern in her hand. "My daughter," she said softly, "what are you doing here with your baby?" It was Auntie Nabi, Damilare's aunt. Morayo told her everything, sobbing. Auntie Nabi felt pity for her. That night, she took her home to her village and cared for her and the baby as her own. Meanwhile, Damilare carried on with life. A year later, he brought another woman into his home. They laughed together, shared meals, and soon she became pregnant. When she gave birth, Damilare rushed to the hospital, excited. He leaned over the baby's bed, praying silently, "Please, Lord, let this one look like me." But when he saw her, his hands trembled. Another albino? He stepped back slowly, his eyes wide. No, it can't be. He sat on the hospital chair and buried his face in his hands. The truth struck him like thunder. "It was never her fault," he whispered. "It was me."
Days later, as he sat in silence and his newborn baby and his girl, Zila, were in the bedroom, the door opened. Morayo stood there, calm, carrying her child. Beside her was Auntie Nabi. He froze. Guilt filled his heart. "My son," Auntie Nabi said gently, "it's time you know the truth. Your great-grandmother was an albino, the kindest woman this family ever knew. Her blood runs in your veins. You should be proud of that." As he heard it, tears of regret filled his eyes, as he confirmed what he saw a few days in the hospital. Meanwhile, as Auntie Nabi kept on telling him the truth about how his great-grandmother was mocked and how she was almost denied her marriage to her husband because of her skin, but still refused to be broken by what others called her, Auntie Nabi added, "All your children being albinos should not make you throw your wife away," she said. Then Zila, who was listening from a hidden place around the house, opened her mouth in surprise and whispered to herself, "So he is married, and all his children are albinos, and because he is looking for a dark-skinned child, that was why he came to me? No, I can't stay here," she added. Without Damilare's knowing, she packed her things and left through the back door, leaving the child behind. Damilare looked up slowly, tears falling. "So all this time, I was the one?" "Yes," she replied. "And you drove away the woman who loved you for something she knew nothing about." He turned to Morayo. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I let pride destroy our home." Morayo said nothing. Her silence spoke more than words. When this was over, Damilare went to the room to check on Zila and the baby, and also to explain things to her. He had never told her he was a married man, and he also wanted to apologize to his wife Morayo for what he had done. By the time he got inside the room, she was gone, leaving the baby on the bed, and a letter which told him she had heard everything about him, and she was not ready to be part of it, that she had moved on. Damilare felt so bad for himself for allowing his stubbornness and lack of awareness to divide his home. While he was still there remembering what John, his friend, told him, he became weaker and didn't know what to do. Then worse happened when he flashed back to the memories of how he sent his wife outside under the rain and under the cold at night. Remembering all this made him burst into uncontrollable tears.
Morayo heard the sound of tears and traced it. It was her husband. When she entered, she was shocked to see
albino
a baby on the bed and a letter beside her. "Who is this?" she asked. But instead of explaining, he gave her the letter to read. And when she was going through it, tears fell from her eyes. In that moment, Dami knelt again, pleading for forgiveness. But due to the pain he had caused her, she found it difficult to accept. Yet she remembered Auntie Nabi's advice and forgave him. Dami rose up and embraced her. The next day, he brought their children back home. Morayo became the mother to the child Zila left behind. And 2 years later, Morayo discovered she was pregnant, but this time, for the first time, she was not afraid. 9 months later, she gave birth to a dark-skinned baby boy, and she was overjoyed. Damilare, who wasn't expecting any dark-skinned child anymore, was overjoyed when he got to the hospital. From that day, Damilare changed completely. When he looked at their light skin, he no longer saw shame. He saw beauty, the legacy of love that once defied the world. Their home was filled with laughter again, and Damilare never forgot the lesson life had taught him. Love is not defined by color. Truth is sometimes hidden in the stories we refuse to listen to. The end.